Sometimes the person you keep praying for is the one you keep rejecting without noticing. Ruth believed she was waiting on God. Every night, she prayed with tears in her eyes. Lord, send me a good husband, a man who fears you, a man who will love me right. Every morning, she woke up still waiting. Ruth was kind, beautiful in a quiet way, deeply spiritual. In church, they called her Sister Ruth the Prayerful One. But inside, she was getting tired of waiting. What she didn't realize was that her life was already surrounded by answers, just not in the form she expected. There was a man named Joseph. He wasn't loud or flashy. He didn't seek attention. He simply showed up, helping quietly, serving faithfully, fixing things in church, supporting people without applause. Joseph had admired Ruth for a long time, not only her beauty, but her discipline, her consistency, and her devotion to God. He never rushed her. He only prayed for her, silently. But Ruth never saw him that way. To her, he was too simple, too ordinary, too familiar. And in her mind, the man God would send had to feel different, more obvious, more exciting. So she kept waiting. One day she told her friend Deborah, "I've done everything right. Why hasn't God sent him?" Deborah hesitated. Maybe he already did. Ruth gave a small laugh. No, I would know. But life has a way of testing what we think we know. Joseph kept showing up in small ways, helping in church, checking on her mother, supporting her when she was overwhelmed. But every time he stepped closer, Ruth created distance. Not openly, just quietly, because she was still waiting for a sign. Then came the night everything shifted. After a church program, Ruth missed her ride. Outside, she stood anxious, checking her phone. Joseph approached gently. "Let me drop you off." "No, I'm fine," she said quickly. "I'm already going that way." He insisted. Still, she refused. Another man she barely knew offered her a ride, and she accepted immediately. Joseph said nothing. He just nodded and walked away. That night, something in him changed. Not bitterness, just acceptance. And sometimes acceptance becomes distance. Weeks passed, and Joseph slowly stopped showing up. Ruth noticed, but didn't think deeply about it. Then Absalom came. Absalom was everything she thought she had been praying for. Confident, charming, expressive, full of words that sounded like destiny. And Ruth believed it. This must be him. So she stopped noticing Joseph completely. But Absalom's charm faded. His consistency broke. His promises collapsed. And Ruth found herself crying again, this time in confusion. "God, I thought this was him." Silence answered her. Months later, she sat alone after the breakup, scrolling through her phone. Then she saw it. A wedding photo. Deborah, smiling beside Joseph. Her heart dropped. The caption read, "God's timing is always perfect. I waited, I learned, I grew." Her hands trembled. Memories came rushing back. The help she ignored. The presence she dismissed, the love she overlooked, and suddenly the truth became clear. Joseph was never absent. He was just not loud enough for her expectations. Tears filled her eyes. "Lord, was I blind?" And deep inside, the answer came gently. "You were not blind to love. You were just waiting for it to look different." Not every answered prayer arrives loudly. Some arrive quietly and wait to be recognized.